Cletus McFarland was never supposed to be here. Not in this world, not on this track, not in a sport built on legacy, decades of pedigree, and quiet garage politics. He didn't grow up polishing tools in a family race shop. He didn't sleep in a hauler as a kid or watch his dad win at Bristol. He was raised on the internet, not in the infield. His racing playground wasn't a short track in the Carolinas. It was a burnout pad in Florida. And his path to stock car racing didn't follow a pipeline. It blasted through it. His real name is Garrett Mitchell, but most people don't know him by that. They know him as Cletus McFarland, the red, white, and blue internet icon with a mullet, a mission, and more horsepower than most grassroots teams could dream of. He started as a meme, a goofball with a turbocharged Corvette named Leroy, and a dream of blowing the tires off anything that moved. But he didn't stay a meme. He built something, a YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, a brand that moves merchandise faster than some Cup Series teams move tickets. He hosted wild events, Cletus and Cars, Freedom 500, Danger Ranger on a dirt track. It looked like chaos on the surface, but underneath was strategy, business, execution. He created an entire motorsports subculture around fun, risk, and total unpredictability. He brought fans back to cars, not just to watch, but to belong. But Cletus wasn't satisfied. Watching races wasn't enough. Hosting events wasn't enough. He wanted in, not to watch the show, to be the show. So in 2025, Garrett Mitchell did something almost no one saw coming. He entered NASCAR, not as a sponsor, not as a personality, as a driver. He signed on to run in the RKA Menard Series, NASCAR's entry-level national series, where rough edges meet serious pressure. It's not the Cup Series, but it's not amateur hour either. It's where up-and-comers prove they can go 180 into turn 1 and survive. And that's exactly where Cletus wanted to be. He made his debut at Daytona, one of the fastest, most punishing tracks in motorsports. The place where legends are made, or humbled. In Cletus's case, it was the latter. His first race ended in a wreck. Not a scrape, not a spin, a wreck. His car was junk. His weekend was over. Some in the garage smiled quietly. Told you so. But here's the thing about Cletus. When the smoke clears, he doesn't disappear. Most influencers would have turned the crash into a punchline, cut together a slick video, and moved on. But Cletus didn't want views. He wanted credibility, and credibility doesn't come from wrecks. It comes from what you do after them. He took the tape home. He watched every second. He broke it down. He asked, "What did I do wrong?" Then he called the people who could help him fix it. One of those people was Kenny Wallace, a former NASCAR driver with zero tolerance for BS. Wallace didn't sugarcoat it. He told Cletus he wasn't ready, that he didn't know the rules, that he had violated safety standards with rogue equipment, that he didn't understand what this world required. But Wallace also told him something else. If you want to do this right, we'll help you, but you have to listen. And Cletus did. He went quiet. He got to work. He started over. He brought in a legit crew chief. He rebuilt his team with experience, not just enthusiasm. He learned how to read telemetry. He started joining sim sessions with ARCA drivers, not because he had to, but because he wanted to, because he needed to. He also found mentors. Greg Biffle, a NASCAR Cup Series winner and master of track awareness, began reviewing his races and coaching him through the subtleties. How to defend a line, when to lift, how to talk to a spotter. Then Kevin Harvick called. One of the sport's biggest names, Harvick invited him on his podcast. It could have been a takedown. Instead, it was real talk. "You're not going to learn this overnight," Harvick said. "But if you're serious, if you keep grinding, you've got a shot." The respect didn't come easy. It still doesn't. Some in the paddock still don't buy it. They think he's a distraction, a camera in a fire suit. They say it's unsafe to let someone like him into this world. They ask, is this racing or is it reality TV? But Cletus isn't ducking those questions. He's answering them, one lap at a time. After the crash at Daytona, he didn't vanish. He ran again, at Talladega, at Charlotte, at Kansas, And every time, he made fewer mistakes. He ran cleaner lines. He made smarter decisions. He started acting less like a performer and more like a professional. In Kansas, he held his line, didn't push when he shouldn't, and brought the car home in one piece. Mid-pack, no trophy, but plenty of quiet nods. Sometimes in racing, surviving is the statement. And behind the scenes, he's changed everything. He now shadows veteran teams. He attends debriefs. He sits in meetings about fuel windows and tire cycles. He doesn't ask for favors. He asks questions. He doesn't want shortcuts. He wants seat time. Even in races he's not entered, he shows up, head down, notebook open, listening. Because Cletus isn't trying to play a role, he's trying to earn a place. But what makes his story different isn't just his hustle, it's his audience. No one else in the ARCA field commands millions of loyal fans who follow every move, every mile, every mistake. No one else is bringing in new viewers to a sport desperate for relevance with younger audiences. Sponsors love him, not because he's polished, but because he's real. His engagement is authentic, his reach is massive, and that gives him leverage. That's what makes him dangerous, in the best way. Because if Cletus can figure it out, if he can run clean, run fast, and finish races, he'll do more than break into NASCAR. He'll redefine how drivers get there. He'll make the path wider. He'll make the sport younger, louder, less filtered, more connected. And that's a big deal, because NASCAR is at a crossroads. The old model, suits, sponsors, and silence, is breaking. The future is personality-driven, digitally native, story first. Cletus represents that shift, and the sport has to decide, embrace it or resist it. So what now? Cletus plans to keep racing. More ARCA starts, more laps, more training. He's building a pipeline not just for himself, but for others like him. Creators, builders, hustlers, people who never got a shot because they didn't come up through the right channels. And that's what makes this story matter. Because if Cletus succeeds, it won't just be his win, it'll be a win for every outsider who was told they didn't belong, every misfit who fell in love with racing through a screen, every dreamer who thought you had to be born into the sport to enter it. He's not just trying to make NASCAR faster, he's trying to make it bigger. So next time you see that mullet fly by in turn 3, ask yourself, is he still just a YouTuber? Or is he something more? Maybe this isn't just a story about Cletus McFarland. Maybe it's the start of a new chapter in motorsports, and we're all watching it happen, lap by lap.